There's always a woman, the crimp in the writing, the hole in the sidewalk, the gum on the shoe. She almost looks human, it must be the lighting. Whatever it is, it's a woman. How are you? Fine, pity. It's always a woman, and a till. The $5 diamond, the $3 bill. A genius for trickery that's second to none. There's nothing as low as a woman. Isn't this fun? Lovely, charming, delicious, stunning, exquisite, exquisite. A knife would be perfect. A gun would be perfect. It's quick and it's quiet. At least I could try. I hear they do wonders. You can do wonders. With poisonous gas. Flavors of glass. There's always the quarry. There's always curare. He'd never be found. I have some around. A noose is efficient. Bamboo is efficient. She won't make a sound. As long as it's brown. Whatever will do it. Whatever will do it. If anything will. If anything will. There's nothing as low as a woman. Shoot to kill.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my goodness, I forgot that she pulls the earrings off at the end. I was
Did you? I love that one.
I got spoiled. I know Stephen was trying to surprise us, and I saw that was like in his little thing, and but I forgot about the earrings at the end. I love that.
So you're still surprised, winner.
Still surprised. I love putting it together. And I love the show that's from, right?
Yes, which we're here to talk about tonight. Hello, everybody. I'm Kristina.
And I'm Bobby, and we are the hosts of popular, shockingly, new podcast, My Favorite Flop.
Yes, we're here for After the Pals. Now, this past Tuesday, our episode all about Anyone Can Whistle dropped on every platform that you could possibly listen to podcasts.
Right, which is a famous flop that if everyone who actually claims they had seen it actually saw it, it would probably still be running in 2021. But alas,
it closed in 9 performances. Wah wah.
But that being said, you can make sure you find us wherever you listen to podcasts, like Kristina said, and really, really make sure that you click that subscribe button and write us a 5-star review, because that helps other people find us and keeps the podcast going so that we don't close in 9 performances, right?
Oh, please don't let us close in 9 performances.
Knock on.
Knock on wood. Okay. So you can find us on all the show's socials. We loved when you interact with us and tell us all your feelings. It really just brings joy to our days.
Right. So let's get down to it. Today, we are continuing the conversation about Anyone Can Whistle. I think we've kind of made that clear at this point. And today we have 2 very special guests to help us dig a little bit deeper.
I can't believe we get 2. It's very exciting.
It's so exciting.
So today, we are excited to welcome 2 cast members from the 2003 revival production here in LA. And our first guest.
Yeah, everyone give a round of applause for our first guest, Misty Cotton.
Hey, hi.
Hey.
Jazz hands.
Yeah, always
so
gotta have
much.
a jazz hand.
Always gotta have a jazz hand. Thank you so much for coming and agreeing to play with us today. We appreciate it so very much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for asking me.
And for any viewer who doesn't know Misty Cotton, she's a legend. She was Ellen in Miss Saigon on Broadway. She's very well known for her legacy with the Marvelous Wonderettes. And this one is near and dear to me. My favorite flop is Carrie. She starred as Margaret White in the immersive, critically acclaimed LA production of the show. And she played Faye Apple in this 2003 revisal of Anyone Can Whistle. So we're super excited that you're here tonight, which is awesome.
Thank you.
And our second guest is the formidable Ruth Williamson. Everyone, round of applause. Jazz hands. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for asking me.
And for anyone who doesn't know Ruth, she is very well known for being in many a Broadway hit and flop. She was in the OG cast of Smile, which was our previous episode, and in the revival of Little Me on Broadway. And I'm sure we'll cover that at some point, and maybe you'll come back and talk with us. You know, that'd be nice. As well as La Caja Falls and White Christmas, just to name a few. She can also be seen all over your television and big screen in such classics as Psycho Beach Party. Oh, yes. And
You picked some good ones. Oh my.
we did.
I love Psycho
And
Beach
she played Cora in this 2003 LA revival of Anyone Can Whistle.
Exactly. So before we jump in, we started kind of a little tradition here on this live series where we do a rapid fire round where our viewers can kind of get to know our guests a little bit better. So we're going to ask you some questions quickly, just to kind of like break the ice a little bit. So you guys ready?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Misty, what was your favorite moment in Carrie?
Oh, well, my favorite moment watching was the prom.
Okay.
Absolutely unbelievable. I'm not in that, but so it was so awesome. But I enjoyed singing When There's No One, where I'm by myself and it's just a very silent moment in a role that's very, intense. So that was my favorite moment.
That song is beautiful. Oh my goodness.
I love that song.
All right, Ruth, you are from Baltimore.
Yes, I am.
Do you just like go around singing Baltimore Crabs? Like, is that a goal for you in life, is to play that role in Hairspray?
I'm a little too old for her, but I would like to play the character woman part. She was.
I was saying that. I think it would be great for that.
But you know why I never got to play it on Broadway is because for some reason, I mean, I was loved by a lot of Broadway directors, but what's his name? Who directed Hairspray? O'Brien, Jack O'Brien.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I blanked on his name. He doesn't care for me.
Okay.
He doesn't care for me. So, go figure.
His loss. It's all right. Our game.
Okay, back to Misty.
Oh, okay.
Fill in the blank. Patti LuPone should play blank in The Marvelous Wonderettes.
Missy. Of course, Missy. It would be hilarious just to see her singing in like a soprano and really shy and then to break out. I think it'd be great.
Oh my goodness, we need to get a charity benefit concert.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely.
I vote yes to that.
Yep.
Okay, so this next one's for both of you. Ruth, you're going to go first. What was your first audition song?
It was The Beguine from Dames at Sea.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
like
that's
long
perfect.
time ago. This was 1977.
Oh my gosh, did you do that role? Did you do that
No.
show?
I
Oh,
did
you would
do
be
that
good as
show.
Mona.
I
Mona?
did. It was one of the first shows I did. I played Mona.
Yes, of course.
Makes sense.
And it was fun. I did it at the Barter Theater in Virginia.
Oh,
wow.
the barter.
Wow. That's
So
great.
The Beguine.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right,
Well,
Misty.
I'm in love with a wonderful guy.
Okay.
Oh, good
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Chosen
are
by a friend that I was just hanging out with. She was actually auditioning, and she just wanted some moral support. I'd never seen him. I'd never auditioned for a musical. Didn't really know what it was much about it, and so she was like, "Oh, sing this song. It's great." I learned it and I sang it,
My goodness.
which was
Love-
actually at the Moonlight Amphitheater, which
wow.
Kristina, I know that you've worked at quite a bit.
I
So
love
yeah.
that place.
yeah, they're great. They're great. So I did my first musical, which was Dames at Sea, Ruth.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
This
Wait
is
a
Yeah.
minute. Wait a
crazy.
minute. Were you I
Oh, I was in the ensemble. I had never done a musical. I was
There was
there
an
for.
ensemble when I did.
Well, yeah, I know, right? They did an ensemble in this version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you could have played Ruby, right?
Oh, totally.
I was.
totally.
Yeah. I mean, I was sort of up for it, but I was gone for the summer, and they're like, "Oh, you can be in the ensemble." I'm like, "Great." Do a little tapping,
Well, keeping on the trend of little shows, this question's for both of you. We're going to start with Misty this time. What's the weirdest or strangest fringe/99 seat theater show you've done?
Oh, okay. I haven't done tons, but it was a show called Little Egypt, which was
Okay.
actually at the Matrix Theater as well.
I love that.
And it had Sarah Rue, who you may know, everybody was a TV person, but
She is, yeah.
Sarah Rue and French Stewart
Oh, wow. Of course.
and Jenny O'Hara which you may know, Ruth, because
Oh, I
you're
know
sort of
Jenny. She's
a wonderful
wonderful.
actress. Yeah.
Wonderful actress.
And I was totally miscast in it. A woman had broken her foot who originally had done it. She's another TV person, and I was sort of like a, last minute kind of thing. But it was very interesting, very odd situation. It was a original musical though.
Oh, wow.
That these other ones that I had done, even though some of them were flops or what have you, had been published before. So this was Greg Lee Henry, who's a great actor, who you may know, Greg, Ruth as well.
Yeah.
But he wrote it and his wife directed it, and it was just a little odd piece that was a really interesting experience. So, and a lot of really fun people and a lot of talented people.
Okay.
But it was a little different.
Awesome. Well, so Ruth, same question for you. 99, Fringe, maybe off Broadway.
Well, I've been very fortunate. I haven't done a lot of off Broadway, but I did an off Broadway show with Charles Busch called Queen Amarantha.
Oh.
In
Okay.
which he played Queen Amarantha.
Sure.
It was sort of based on that movie Queen Kristina with Garbo.
Okay.
Where this queen is a little bit masculine. She's, little. So here's Charles playing a masculine woman. It was very great. And I played the Countess Thalia, who was the evil Countess Thalia.
Sure.
And it was a beautiful production in which Charles and I actually did a broadsword fight.
Nice.
And Charles, if you know Charles, he doesn't like to break a sweat. So it was a little bit of a funny broadsword fight,
Sure.
At the time I had bright red hair, not in this play, but in rehearsals, he said, you really haven't experienced true fear until you've seen a character woman coming at you with a knife.
Ah, that's so good. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, that was and the reason it was such a weird experience, and I don't share this very often, but it was the one time I did expose my breasts on stage. I had to do like a simulated sex scene. I'm not kidding.
There's a lot to this play.
Are there any photos?
I'm sure somewhere. But it was, it was a la Charles Busch, so it was kind of funny. But I did look good. I was in my prime, so
That's good, Kristina. I feel like I need to give you a Charles Busch breakdown because
I see.
yeah, I mean he wrote shows like Vampire Lesbians of Sodom.
Yes.
The same gentleman who wrote.
I assume everybody knows who he is, and they don't.
I mean, I'm obsessed with him, but I guess not.
He's a very famous drag artist and playwright.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was nominated for a Tony for his play that he was not in, called The Tale of the Allergist's Wife.
That was Linda Lavin, right?
Yeah.
That was Linda Lavin. Yeah, he wrote that for her. Anyway, he's brilliant. One of my dearest friends, and I went through a lot with Charles.
Sure.
I love that. Okay, this next one is for you, Misty.
Okay.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Oh, okay. I would say I watch a lot of the ID channel, what my husband calls murder porn.
Oh, yeah.
And it can't be, it's all like real life murders. It can't be, fake like CSI or anything like that. It's got to be documentaries. It's got to be real stories. So it's like those kind of
I've been
stories.
in 2 of them. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Which show?
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What show?
I was in Murder Among Friends. I was in 2 episodes of Murder Among Friends.
Okay, I'm going to have to look this up.
Oh no. It's terrible.
I know I have to see this because there are other people, Kristina, we went to college with that are on these shows. And I'm like,
well, the
your
amazing
boyfriend
Michael
didn't get killed.
Donovan.
Sure.
The amazing Michael Donovan cast a lot of them.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my
Hopefully you didn't
Anyways.
have to wear a really bad wig because sometimes they have really bad wigs on those shows.
No, I did have to have burn makeup put all over my body though.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, so Ruth, what was the first Broadway show you ever saw?
I was thinking about this. I can't remember the absolute first one I ever saw. I remember going to New York 2 years in a row with my thespian society from my high school.
Sure.
Once when I was a junior and then when I was a senior. And when I was a junior, I believe the first show I ever saw was the original production of Company.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Oh,
awesome.
wow. That is cool.
And I fell in love with it and thought it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my whole life. And
Have
I
you
just
ever done
wanted
it?
to do that. Huh?
Have you ever done it?
Oh, I want to do it so bad. I was cast as Joanne in a company here in Southern California. Maybe you can help me, Misty. I can't remember it, but anyway, I'm cast. I'm all excited. I'm telling all my friends. And the company closed.
Oh, South Bay. It was
South
South
Bay.
Bay's
Oh,
CLO.
yeah.
I was a technician for them when that happened. I
I
helped
was
build their sets.
devastated.
Yeah.
I was so
Oh.
sad.
That you would be so great in that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
So
my
amazing.
goodness.
Okay, well, this
Okay.
next one is for both of you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What is your favorite flop?
Ooh, I don't know. Ruth, you go first. What do you?
Well, I do have an affinity for Smile, but I was too close to that. I guess, gee, it's hard to say. I do get a kick out of Dear World, except for the very last scene. But I do like Dear World. I love the music.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And was Ballroom a flop?
Oh yeah.
Oh, then never mind. I'd like to say Ballroom.
Oh my gosh. We need to get Ballroom done in LA. And Nick DeGruccio loves Ballroom too. We should get him to tackle
Get
that.
him to do it.
No, I just remember him talking about it all the time.
Oh, really?
For
I
Ruth.
love
Ruth.
There you go.
Nick, if you're watching.
Yes.
All right. Misty, your favorite film.
Well, is Sideshow considered a flop?
Mhm. Twice.
Okay.
There you go.
Twice, I guess so. But you know what? I love two of my favorite flops I've been in. But I'd have to say Sideshow, just because, come on. Two ladies singing like that. It's just
pretty
amazing. And for me personally, it was one of the best experiences of my life. So I would say Sideshow. And of course, I love doing Carrie.
Oh,
I loved doing that. So I was lucky I was in a couple of them, but I would say probably those two, but especially Sideshow.
Oh my goodness.
Love that.
People still talk
cool.
about your production of Sideshow, like all the time.
Nick did a great job. It was something we really had a great time.
Yeah.
So
oh my
He's
goodness.
brilliant. So
Yeah.
pretty much everything he does is like that. Okay, so we're gonna get down to it now. We're gonna talk about Anyone Can Whistle. So first thing we would like to know is, how did you guys come to be a part of this particular production? Did you know someone on staff? Was it a random, like, hey, you have an audition, show up and sing a song? What was it for you? How did it come to you? Tell me all the things.
I recall I had heard about it through Daryl Archibald, who's the music director.
Great.
And I had just worked with him I did Children of Eden in Utah. And he had told me about it. That's how I knew about it. So he brought me in and I auditioned and all that. So that's how I heard about it.
Ruth, how about you?
Well, I was pretty new from New York.
Okay.
I hadn't been here in LA very long. And I certainly hadn't been pursuing theater here. And all of a sudden, Michael McKetty contacted me, and I guess he knew my work. I'd just done, I had done Music Man on Broadway, and I'd done Guys and Dolls, and I'd done all these shows, and I guess he had seen me, and thought I'd be really good for Cora. And we met at this little studio, this minuscule little studio one night, and we just sat and talked, and I don't even think I sang or read. I think we just talked.
Oh wow.
And off I went, so it was
Love
it was a really nice gift and nice introduction to LA,
Yeah, amazing. Well, so were you a big fan of the score? Had you seen the show before, or were you just familiar with the music?
I wasn't even all that familiar with the music. It's really funny. I've spent my life doing a lot of musical theater, but I've never been like a musical theater nut who listened to all the records, and I just that was just never me.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't know. I had heard of it, certainly.
Right.
Sure.
And actually, one way I had heard of it, I researched and I wrote a play about Kay Thompson. I don't know if you know who she was.
Yeah.
Do you know who Kay Thompson was? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Liza Minnelli's aunt, obviously.
Right. But she was a brilliant performer in the 50s. She was just a genius performer. Anyway, so I wrote this play about Kay Thompson, and apparently now I lost my train of thought. It had to do with Angela Lansbury, and somehow I learned, I know what it was. Sondheim loved Kay Thompson's club act. And the opening number of Anyone Can Whistle, which is that it's total Kay Thompson. It's his
absolutely.
It's his homage to Kay Thompson, which is why I always when I learned that, I thought, I've got to do this show. And I became a little more familiar with it. And certainly once I realized I was going to do it, I became very familiar with it. But anyway, that's about that. But
were you a fan of it before, Misty? Did you know it at all, or?
No, not really. I had heard the song "Anyone Can Whistle," and I thought, that's a great song. But no, not really. I had never really listened to it. And like Ruth, I'm not a big, even though I do musical theater, I'm not one of those people that listens to tons of musicals and things like that. So I was definitely not familiar with it. But it heard.
How interesting coming to a show like this, which is a bit chaotic, right? Like there's a lot to it. There's a lot going on. It's very supernatural to a certain extent. How interesting coming to it with completely fresh eyes, and especially with this revisal. I think that's really interesting. As I'm sure you know, it used to be 3 acts. It then in this version was made into 2 acts. Do you think that was successfully done? Did he really find a way to make that work so you had a proper 2 acts?
I was trying to even remember where he cut it, and I don't have my script here. I think I might have it like down in storage at my folks, but I mean,
it was 18 years ago.
Yeah, I know it was a long time ago, but I mean, Ruth, do you even remember where he cut it?
No, I don't
either.
I don't remember half the plot. I mean, seriously, it was 18 years ago.
I think anytime
even then, it's very convoluted.
Anytime you take a 3 act and put it into 2 nowadays, I think is good.
I think that's a very good idea. I gotta say, I had friends who loved it, who just loved it. I'll tell you what I think about. Here's what I think is the only way. One of the ways to fix that show.
Okay.
It has to be, money must be spent on the set. Like a lot of money. Like when the miracle is revealed, it must get applause from the audience. It has to be that fantastic. And then we have something we care about.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know. I really think I always thought that. And we had this sad little paper mache rock, and it was just kind of, I mean, it was the tiniest little theater you've ever seen in your life. It was adorable, but we played it like it was, Santo Lacosto's greatest creation, but but it wasn't. But we couldn't help that. We did it on a dime we found a nickel and a dime outside and did it. So.
Yeah.
Well, that seems to be a common thread with shows that don't do really well on Broadway. Anytime people tackle them, it's always done cheaply. People seem to not want to throw a lot of money at a flop, so it makes it difficult when there's something like the Miracle Rock that's supposed to be impressive, and nobody wants to put the money into making that an impressive thing to see, for sure.
Yeah.
Just a quick shout out to our friends who are commenting. Eric and Richard, thank you so much for being here. We're so happy that you're commenting and interacting and you're here. Hello. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so back to Anyone Can Whistle. I don't know. I always thought for me, the big fix would be actually fixing Cora and Faye's relationship, because at least in the original production, like they don't ever interact until the last moment, at the very last second of the show. And it to me, like Sondheim wrote these 2 incredible women who are very specific, and we know these women in real life and they should be celebrated, right? So how do they actually interact with each other? How do they butt heads? Do they like each other? What's their opinion on one another? And that's not really available in the script as is. And so I always thought that that's how you fix it. Is you and it'll give Cora a better send off, because otherwise, poor Cora, like, she has these epic moments and then she just kind of like okay, bye.
Fizzles away, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. You're right about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Cora definitely. I mean, Faye has this arc, right? She definitely has a metamorphosis, really, a big change. Cora really doesn't.
No, Cora's not a very nice person.
No.
Say. You know, she just isn't. She's a bit of the villain, you know, so.
But I mean, if you
love
were to
the
take
way
it
she
from,
You have to like her because she's so consistent in her narcissism.
yes. I mean, I don't know, with changing like a point of view like that, or making their relationship.
I mean, if Cora could have an arc.
Yeah, Cora had an arc, but that's like completely rewriting the show.
But sometimes, look, there are characters like Cora that serve the play and have to be sort of unlikable, and they, you know, the story's really much more about Hapgood and Faye.
Right.
I like that Cora's unlikable. That's what I like about it.
Oh, I like it too.
Yeah, I want her to stay unlikable. I would just like to
her
have.
henchmen. She's got henchmen.
I know, and they're super attractive dancers.
Not in our show.
Not
but,
the funniest character men you've ever seen.
Yeah, they were great.
It was really an odd quartet.
We had Joe Hart.
Joe
Hart,
who at the time was a very big guy. He was huge.
Yeah.
Now he's a twig, but he lost all his weight. But at any rate, and just character men, you know. But they were great, you know. They came out and they did the Williams brothers behind Kay Thompson.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a great number. I loved that. Was my favorite moment of the whole night. So
yeah,
I mean, it's one of the best. There are so many great songs in the score, but that opening number, that "Me and My Town," I mean, especially if it's performed well, it's like, I mean, it's just, you're right. It's Kay Thompson. I mean, it's his homage to Kay Thompson, and it's
and
so
it
good.
so brilliantly. It really does. And you get who Cora is. I mean, she so loves herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So you were saying that your friends really loved seeing the show at the time. We went back, Bobby and I tried to find, like, how did the critics receive it? What did they say? Did they have things to say about it? Do you guys remember? How long did you guys run?
Maybe about, it was like 5 or 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
Maybe, I think.
Okay, that's a decent run here.
Yeah. I think it was, you know, some of those 99-seat shows go on forever.
Right.
Well, I don't know about now, but back then they did. So I think maybe about, at a minimum, 6 weeks, I would think. Yeah. I think so. Do you remember, Ruth?
No, I think that's about right.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like anything, if I recall, it's problematic. I think in general they were complimentary of the performances and what people were doing with it, what Michael did with it. But I think they still had criticisms just about the show.
Talking about that kooky book.
Yeah.
With the cookies.
But we just had some really great people in the show, and
brilliant
really,
people.
really talented group. So
that was the tiniest little stage you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it felt like we had 30 people on it. We didn't, but you know, we had a pretty big chorus.
Yeah, it was big.
There were a lot of cookies.
Yeah, there were a lot of cookies. Yep.
Was the band big? I mean, just hearing how small the space is, I don't know if I've ever been in the Matrix. Was it just Daryl, or did he have a band as well?
I think he had a band, didn't he, Ruth? I know it was him, and maybe
a tiny band. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there might have been a drummer.
There's no room backstage. There's nothing.
See, I'm gonna have to go look up, see if I can get a playbill and figure this stuff out. Because I'm like, had I known I had a little bit more time, I could have maybe gone into storage and dug some stuff up.
Oh, I know.
God only knows. I've got bookshelves full of.
Yeah.
I don't know what I do with it.
No, I've worked on the Matrix stage, and it is
teensy.
It's
hard to imagine.
Create your own
miracle. Anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I just thought, what would it be like to be sitting in a Broadway house and just see some splendiferous, you know, brilliant special effect, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that makes complete sense to me. Ironically, it was considered the most expensive 99-seat production at the time.
Wow.
That fact we did find.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
Sorry, but that's hilarious to me. I don't.
Yeah.
I have nothing to compare it to, really. So
Yeah. Very
No.
interesting.
Yeah, that's what.
we hired a lot of people, I must say.
Yeah.
That's why it was so many darn people.
Yep.
Oh, sure, yeah,
You know.
yeah. You did have a relatively big cast for
Yes,
the
we
show.
did. It was really big.
Well, do
Right?
you think if they threw money at the show, do you think, because there's definitely a world, especially post the last couple years we've been through in this country, where someone like Cora might ring a little bit more true than she did in the 60s, right?
Yes, I agree.
So do you think if with the right money at something like Anyone Can Whistle, do you think it would do better in New York City if they tried to revive it again?
Oh, there would still have to be
Major rewrites.
rewrites, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I was just saying that because that was the one thing that I thought
Really could
you really need at its core, you know.
Yeah, no,
I-
I mean, when she licks the rock, I mean, it's got to do something exciting, right?
I just love that the answer was for the character to lick the rock. Like, I wanted to be in the room when they were like, well, how does a miracle get discovered? Oh, she'll lick the rock. Like, that's what I would love to have been a fly on the wall when
All
that
of a sudden,
conversation
I just
happened.
thought, wow, that's the merch. That's the t-shirt right there. Lick the rock.
Yes. Yes.
They didn't have stuff in the 60s like that. We would have that today.
We totally would have that today. Oh, that would be on a magnet.
Hey, you guys have your own merch for your little flop shows. You can make your mug and it says "Lick the Rock."
Lick the rock. Oh, see, Misty
See?
is helping.
We've
saying.
now had a couple of suggestions for merch. Bobby, I think we're gonna have to make merch.
I think we might have to do it as well. Well, we'll give you a percentage, Misty.
Okay.
Well,
So, Misty, since you had the chance to play Faye,
Mhm.
now that it's been a few years, would you want a shot at Cora?
Oh wow, I would love to do that role, but you know, when you've had the best play it like Ruth,
Oh,
you just
stop
can't.
it.
No, it's true.
Please.
Oh my God, I was so excited when I saw I was going to be working with Ruth on this show. I was so excited. Ruth, do you remember what I told you? I said, "Oh my God, I've worked with two of my favorite comics in the world. You're like, you know, I worked with Gary Beach a couple times, and I said, you're the female Gary Beach." I don't know if you remember me telling you that. And I was like,
that's high praise. You know, I worked with Gary twice.
yeah, I know.
And I loved him very much. I can't believe he's gone. It
I
makes me
know.
really sad.
But no, I mean, I would love to. It's a great role. Yeah, it'd be great. I would love to do it. Absolutely.
well,
We'll make it happen.
Ruth, would you like to do it again? Or
No.
no?
It's just like,
No.
Really. I mean,
That's fair.
seriously, I really, I mean, I've done it, and I'm just at a point in my life where it would take something kind of extraordinary to get me back on stage, I think. The last thing I did was I did Madame Thénardier
Oh, sure.
out at, oh gosh, Musical Theater West.
Mm.
Oh, very fun.
I'd also done it at the Hollywood Bowl because I replaced Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh my, you totally did. I went to the dress for that and was expecting to see Rosie and hadn't heard, and you were fantastic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was
Trying to place
a little
Rosie.
intimidating, but it was also one of the best times I ever had.
Oh
So
my goodness.
Madame T is kind of the latest thing I've done, and my little adventures with Charles Bush and all that. So you know, we've done a couple of little things, and sometimes he comes out here. Before the pandemic, we did a little staged radio play together, and you know,
Fun.
yeah,
That's really fun.
yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, of Die Mommy Die. I mean,
Yes.
it's a movie, but it's pretty funny. If you haven't seen Die Mommy Die, you haven't lived.
Okay,
And
wait. Curious question.
I am his voice. I am his voice.
You're his
I
voice.
sing Why Not Me, the song from Die Mommy Die.
That's what I was about to ask because I
But
was
he
looking
lip
on,
syncs too.
right, and I was looking on IMDb and it said she might have done this in this movie because I don't know if you're credited. Are you?
No.
Yeah, there you go. So I was going to ask
I
that.
tell everyone I possibly can. And I also was his singing voice in The Divine Sister. When he did it on stage, it was my voice that played over, and he once again did a lip sync to me.
But
So,
Charles
that's
sings sometimes,
epic.
right?
well, now he's got a big cabaret career.
Sure.
Go figure. But I mean, really, I'm sure he would say the same thing. Like, whoever thought that would happen? But it did, and he's just so charming, and his stories, his anecdotes are so wonderful, and and then he sings these sort of soft little dear songs, and he breaks your heart,
Oh, I bet.
So
I'm gonna have to go see him now.
I know.
Once we're allowed back in spaces.
You just need to watch Psycho Beach Party the movie, which is different than
I can
the
do
stage
that.
show, and then we'll go from there. That one's
Okay.
But I highly recommend Die Mommy Die.
That one's. I mean, he stars in that one. So
Yeah,
Got it. All right.
It's
I
brilliant.
now have a list. I have homework. Understood.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Well, oh my goodness. So anyone can whistle. That's kind of interesting that Ruth, this was like your first introduction kind of to the world of LA theater, and you've
Yeah.
kind of worked around from there. And Misty, when did you was this had you been back in LA after being in New York on tour for long, or was this soon after all
Oh
of
gosh.
that kind of happened?
No, this happened in 2003, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe,
So
yes.
I had already
don't know
been
the
back
timeline.
for about 3 years.
Oh, okay.
From
All right.
having lived in New York. So, yeah.
But Ruth, you've done some famous flops on Broadway. Smile, which we did on our last episode, and Little Me, which we will definitely cover at one point because it's such a wonderful Cy Coleman score. And Misty, you've done Sideshow Carrie and things like that. Interesting question for you. Do you think that some of these shows that maybe didn't do well in New York, do you think LA audiences are more keen to see people play with them a little bit? Because there's kind of this history of over the years of some of these flop shows doing better in Los Angeles after the fact.
Really? I never think of LA as a theater town.
Sure.
I know it is, but I never think of it as a theater town.
Yeah. I think the fact that it's flopped, and a lot of times what happens is the score, then people start to love it and know it more, and the stakes are so high in New York, and then it flops. So then everybody thinks, oh, how can I fix it? Everybody wants to put their own spin on it and fix it, or it might already have a cult following, so people are dying to see it if they haven't seen it. And so so I do think a lot of times it gets another chance, or people are just so primed for it that it can do better. And because we have the 99 seat theater thing, people can do it at a cheaper cost.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's always nice for it to have a second chance. And I know with Sideshow, when I did Sideshow with Nick decided to really make it more bare bones, like a real set. It was so glitzy and big in New York. It was wonderful. It was just very big. And so he decided to pare it down, of course, and have it, everybody always, my favorite thing is, we're going to do it darker. Like that's, a big code word for flops and stuff, especially for comedies or something.
Right. Here's the concept is my favorite. That's when I run from the room.
Oh yeah, concept.
Here's the concept.
And I'm not putting him down. It was a darker lighting, but it did amazingly well. And I think it was because it was a smaller space. It was very intimate, and there was just something magical about that show out here. And I even know Bill Condon came to it a lot, and he said that's what made him want to do it and revive it. Way back then was our show. So
wow. That's amazing.
Pretty impressive, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. But anyway, so I guess the answer is, yeah, I think it's because they actually have the safety of having had the word get out about the show, and then there's a cult following, and so sure, I think it has more opportunity.
Well, and La Mirada's Carrie, which you were involved in, I mean, I was praying for that to just really take off, because it could really helped revitalize downtown LA theaters.
Yeah.
But even still, I mean, even though it wasn't as big of a hit as I think we all wanted it to be, it still did so incredibly well,
Yeah,
especially for theater in LA.
Yeah, I actually think, in a way, when I say it's before its time, I don't think, even though that space was perfect for it and was exciting, I think people were afraid of downtown. And it's people don't know what to do down.
You were brilliant, first of all.
Well,
You're
thank you.
unbelievably brilliant. And
Thank you.
I love that old theater. I love it.
It's just, I mean, it was a dream to be in that theater. But what Brady Schwinn did with it, I actually really think the show that he did here, the way they produced it, I think it would have done better in New York than it did here.
Ironic.
Well,
Ironically. And I think it could still do well in New York.
It's interesting. So I was working with someone in New York who was close with Dean Pitchford, who wrote the lyrics to it. And I remember the whole team was just obsessed with your guys' production. And there was talk in New York at the time. Dean wanted to bring your production. He was like, even though it was so soon after they had done the off-Broadway revival, he was like, this is what needed to happen, like in New York. And I mean, obviously it didn't happen, but I think the team was very excited that it finally got right what they had been working on.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe they'll be able to do it sometime again.
Oh, I hope so. It was really, really good.
Oh, wow.
Well, I love to hear that about flop shows.
Well, I loved it. It was really well done. It was brilliant. And, there was even like, before you went in, they had stuff, as I recall, on the walls, like Carrie White as a whore or something like that.
Yeah, right. It was very immersive. That was the.
Oh, it was very immersive. In that,
I loved how the seats moved.
Theater, that haunted theater. So it was like, oh, this is great. I loved it.
Oh, well, the bleachers didn't like her powers move?
The bleachers. People were sitting in the seats and they moved during the show, which was really awesome.
Right.
It was fun.
Oh, I went to college with Val, who played Chris.
Oh my gosh.
I had just moved to New York like right before you guys had done it, and I almost came back out to see it because it's one of my favorite shows and I wanted to see what you guys had done with it. But I was just hearing of how they flung her to the roof and everything. I was like, how do they even do that with the show?
Yeah, that was unbelievable how she flew over the audience. It was it was crazy. It was so fun to watch that prom scene.
Oh my gosh.
So fun. Yeah. Really, really cool.
Would you like sneak to the back booth and sit back there and watch?
I could try and I could see it from certain areas. Yeah, there were certain dark places in the theater I could go and watch it. But I mean, you just couldn't take it all in and unless you were sitting in the audience, and even then it's from all different angles because everything's happening around you. But it was pretty cool. Wow. I mean, the people that fly Kathy Rigby, for Peter Pan, doing all the ography and stuff for that. So
right.
They were equipped. Cool. They were ready.
They were ready to rock and roll.
Well, this has been an incredible conversation. Thank you both so much for like digging deep and trying to remember all the things. Like it was great getting to like chat with people who've actually tackled the show, and I love that. So thank you so much for being here. Just to kind of like wrap this up a little bit, how have you guys been staying creative during this weird time?
Well, Ruth.
Well, I've been painting. I paint watercolors, and I just sort of started a few years ago. I never thought of myself as an artist at all, but maybe 4 years ago I started fooling around with watercolors. Anyway, long story short, I really got into it during the pandemic because there was nothing else to do, and it soothed me and quieted me. And I've had great success, and I've sold a bunch of art, and that's what I've been doing.
Link is in the comments for anyone who's watching. Link is in the comments if you want to go see Ruth Williamson's artwork. It's right there
on Facebook. Ruth Williamson art.
Well, and Misty, you were supposed to star in Mamma Mia before the pandemic hit, right?
Yep, we were in rehearsals.
Is that coming back? What have you been up to during this year of our life that we'll never forget?
We'll never get back. Well, it's supposed to come back. We're crossing our fingers, hopefully in October, and that's with 5 Star Theatricals out in Thousand Oaks. So we'll see. And actually, during the pandemic, for 5 Star Theatricals, we did a little fundraiser where we did an outdoor concert. Oh, wow. And we had people bought tickets, and they came in their car, And so they had to like dial into the radio station and so they could get the sound. And then we got honks.
Wow.
Oh my
Instead of
Yeah.
applause?
So it was pretty interesting. So we
Oh my
experimented with
goodness.
that. It was a lot of fun, and that was great to get together with people and do that. So yeah, it's hard to do all this stuff online. I mean, unless you're really into that kind of stuff, it's just not, not live theater as we know. It's just not the same.
It's
Yeah.
not the same.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
No, not even
we'll get
close.
there. We'll get there. So
Well, Ruth, you filmed in COVID. Was that like was that like everybody in spacesuits and you thought you were on the set of ET? Like, what was it?
I just shot a tiny little scene in This Is Us that was on a couple of weeks ago. And so, first of all, I got tested for COVID 3 times the week before. I was shooting on Monday, and 3 times the week before I had to be tested. And then the minute I got to set, I put my stuff in the trailer and they took me to be tested.
Wow.
Wow.
And they could only put X number of people in a van. You had to wear a mask and one of those plastic things over your face.
The shield,
A shield. They were very strict. But, then we get on the set and there must have been, I don't know, 25, 30 extras around me. Everybody had masks on, and everybody had been tested as much as I had. So it was pretty safe, I must say. A lot of these productions got burned early on. Somebody would test positive, and then they'd have to shut down for 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
We're making darn sure that's not happening again. They just want to lose that money.
No, that's fair.
And now they're just slamming them out.
Yeah. Auditions are definitely coming back at LA.
They are.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you both so much for being here. I know that you're kind of active on social media. Why don't you tell our viewers where they can find you?
If you want to.
I'm
If
old
you want to.
I'm old-fashioned. I'm on Facebook. You can always see me there.
I'm on Instagram at Misty _Cotton on Instagram, and you can find me Misty Cotton on Facebook. I don't post hardly ever, but you never know.
We're gonna get your followers up though, Misty.
Okay.
We're gonna bump those ratings for you.
Okay.
Thank you both so much. This has been lovely.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. What fun. Thank you.
Bye. Oh my goodness. I mean, that was the most lovely chat. Like,
It was so nice. It's always fun talking to people who have like been in the rehearsal room, who have workshopped it, who have like dug in and like torn the script apart and come together to make things happen,
well, and to work on a treat like Anyone Can Whistle, that's just not done all the time, and with the original production being in the 60s, it's not been done for lots and lots of years. So very, very cool. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. We want to thank you and let you know that in 1 week from today, you can catch episode 8 of our podcast that'll be released everywhere, which is very exciting.
Yes, you can find it wherever you listen to podcasts, but then join us the following Tuesday, April 20th, for yet another episode of After the Mouse, where we get to continue the conversation about our episode with another fabulous guest.
Absolutely. And Kristina, why don't you tell them where they can find us? We told them where they could find them, but
right. Okay. So we can be found on all the social media. That means Facebook. That means Insta. That means Twitter. And that means TikTok. Oh, yes. At My Favorite Flop. You can also check out our website. It's down there. myfavoriteflop.com, where we keep everything, including Bobby's mystical, magical cabinet of mysteries.
you never know what I'm going to pull out. It might be the entire 1973 production of Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, or it might be Liza singing pop songs. You just never know.
You never know what you're going to get.
But make sure you head over to those social channels to look at our clues. Starting tomorrow, we'll start releasing clues for episode 8. And just in case you missed it on episode 7, here's clue number 1. It is this. The main character of this show has been featured in books, movies, radio, and multiple theatrical adaptations.
Who knows? I don't.
Could be a couple, actually. So
It actually could. Yes.
could actually be
Thank
a
you.
couple.
Thank you, everyone, for watching with us live. We love hearing from you. Keep interacting with us. Don't forget to check out next week's episode, and we'll see you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.